Returning to the LCS stage has been a very nostalgic experience for me. I'm remembering a lot of my time back when I played here with TDK, both the good and the bad. And it's just making me feel more motivated to give my best performance and help bring a championship title to Irvine.
Welcome back to the College Championship presented by State Farm. You just heard from Latman being excited about wanting to bring that championship to UCI, and they are only one game away from doing it now.
They're definitely looking like they can do it. It's going to be tough for Columbia College, despite a really competitive game, too, to win 3 straight against this team that has only dropped 1 game in the whole tournament.
Reverse sweep the dream becomes reverse sweep the necessity for this team. No more room for error. No more chances to try again. It's do or die as we're about to jump into Champion Select for the 3rd time today. It's important to note that UCI is going to continue what we've seen so far. They select red side. They want that final counter pick. We'll see how it plays out for them here as we get into picks and bans. It's Graves and Vlad banned out by Columbia. UC Irvine once again saying no Casio for Julian.
No fun for Julian. Probably going to get triple banned here once again. Did have a strong Swain game, but has been getting triple banned both the first 2 games. Actually 5 bans, or 4 I think in the first game.
Yeah.
But definitely getting focused a lot. You can see that really going to be taken off the table, and
not surprised.
Red side's so important, I think, in this matchup, and really in a lot of the weekend's series is the fact that how well Captain Nuke has been playing, right? Captain Nuke has been such a monster in the top lane, and even when getting kind of counterpicked last time by Stumpy, or at least, an advantageous scaling matchup, Stumpy was never really able to get an edge, and we saw how it looked in game number 1, where Stumpy was just stuck under his turret and then Gnar versus Cho'Gath the whole time. So, that has been what is deciding a lot of these games, is really what is happening in the top lane. Like, is Captain Nuke able to get this split push going? Because that is how UC Irvine loves to play. They want to just play it extremely passively. They want to split the map. They want to play macro style. And if your top lane's winning, you can do that.
Well, Columbia College decides that the Varus last time around was doing a lot of work with Evan RL in the pilot seat. They want to use that one here again. That's their first pick. UC Irvine, again, going to pick up the Morgana, wanting to make sure that they have that engage, that CC denial power with the Black Shield, as well as throwing down some CC of their own with the Binding. Sejuani, we're talking about CC. That's a great champion to throw in there, too.
Yeah, and a nice takeaway, because Bucksec was able to actually get a lot of good engages with the Sejuani ultimates in game number 2 that led to, a lot of their early and mid-game kills. So they are going to take that away. It makes a lot of sense just to go straight back to Tahm Kench, what it is already Sejuani and Morgana. 2 prime targets for that Devour from Tahm Kench. The question is just going to be, where does Bucksec actually go? And since one of the mid lane champion bans was actually dropped, UCI decided to go for Trundle instead of the triple ban. Julian can get one of his picks. He can actually get the Orianna that has been banned in both the previous games.
Well, Columbia College has to find some sort of trump card here. They've got to find some win condition, and maybe it is Julian being on one of these champions that makes it past the bans. Maybe he can put on that heroic performance that'll carry this team into a game 4.
And I still want to see them at least have some sort of secondary form of engage, right? Like if you're going to put Stumpy on a blind pick tank, which often is the case on blue side, then you need to have someone else that can engage, right? It can't just be about the Varus. That's not enough. When there is a Black Shield, Descraton can go back to Zoe, had a really good performance on it, and Descraton honestly has just been good on everything they're putting him on throughout this entire tournament. Really, I think the standout mid laner for me. But we'll see what the picks are going to be. And UCI is trying to ban more engage, right? They're trying to ban more pick. They took away the Sejuani. They're banning away that Skarner for kind of an additional pick champion. But I'm trying to think where he might go. I mean, Bucksec could look for something like a Zac if he wanted. There is the possibility of kind of getting denied with that charge from Sejuani. You can actually knock Zac out of the air, but still, like, that is one of the really strong engaged jungle champions, and also something that can help to disrupt any potential split push that'd be coming up from Captain Nuke. If you're expecting Captain Nuke to really go for split push style, this is more out of left field, but things like Nocturne I think are actually incredibly strong, and it has shown up more in competitive play. Nocturne, in my opinion, the best jungler at actually picking off those split pushers. It's so hard to actually play safely around that while still having pressure on the map, because Nocturne's engage range is ridiculous.
Sivir is locked in for the side of UC Irvine. They've got that one to be able to speed up the entire team. Also with the spell shield to block some of the CC that might be coming out from your Varus there, but Columbia now has to respond. All right, we're not doing blind pick tank. We're doing blind pick plank.
Yep, it is not engaged, but it is something that definitely has a lot of scaling. And if you don't get behind early, everyone knows Gangplank gets Triforce, he one-shots the backline, he wave clears forever, he ults elsewhere, right? That is really his MO. We'll see what the pick from Captain Nuke is going to be into it, because there are some very strong aggressive counter picks. And another engaged champion here that I had not mentioned was Jarvan. It's going to be picked up by Bucksack, so that does give them more of that secondary engage, as well as a ball delivery system. So he can work in combination with Julian to kind of get in the middle of the fight, try to get a big shockwave. So again, I like this comp much more from Columbia College compared to their first game. But Jace is something that can slam Gangplank. Because of the interactions with the barrels, range champions often really do excel at kind of knocking down those barrels and poking GP out. And GP does not usually have enough sustained damage to actually full-on duel a champion like Jace. You have to be able to poke him, but when you're losing the trades, that becomes very, very tough. So again, counter pick safe for Captain Nuke. Bottom lane going to be looking to wave clear and probably play pretty safe. Expect Youngvin to play around the solo lanes and Captain Nuke to try to carve out an advantage.
And I came into this series seeing the talk about both of these top laners, how they've done well playing carries, how they're not just going tank versus tank. And this is the kind of matchup I wanted to see with that talk, what that was kind of bringing my expectations up to be, and I'm really glad we're going to get at least one game of this hyper carry versus hyper carry style where one of these guys is just going to pop off.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting because Captain Nuke on the Jace, you almost always just want to go for more of that pure split push style. They've drafted a tremendous amount of wave clear with both Zoe and Sivir, so if you get to the kind of mid-game stage where Sivir's on, 1 to 2 items, she can essentially wave clear infinitely. You can have Jace in that side lane, you can have him trying to carve out advantages. But if Stumpy can survive, if he can hang on, or Bucksack can kind of turn around, that top lane 1v1, if you can put the GP ahead, the Jace becomes very, very useless in those later stages.
And Captain Nuke also has to deal with the ever-looming threat of NA Jace hanging over his head. NA Jace,
See if it applies to Collegiate.
historically doesn't have a good time.
No.
But we'll see, like you just said, if that goes down to the Collegiate level. Maybe Collegiate is where NA Jace starts to truly shine and become what he is meant to be. We'll see as we load onto the Rift for what could be the final time here today. UCI up 2-0 over Columbia College. One more win here, and they're walking away with the trophy and the title. Columbia College desperate to try to make sure they're hanging on in this one.
Yeah, they'd love to get a game back here, try to force this series to continue. They know they were within striking distance in the second game. They know they had their opportunities, but failed to really execute and close out on what could have been a tied series. So last chance for them in this one.
Two varsity programs, two teams that fought their way through the bracket over the course of the past 3 days to get here. And before this series started, remember, Columbia College had actually not lost a single game. UCI had only lost one game in their semifinal yesterday that turned into a bit of a fiesta. So both of these squads have proved that they deserve to be here.
Definitely the case, and it started with 8 teams this weekend, but there was hundreds of teams from around the nation, from around Canada as well, that were competing in this. I believe over 300 different schools. These are the 2 best out of all of those student athletes, and this one could start off with a bang. UCI looking to invade.
UCI deciding to go for that level 1 blue. Bucksack. Jace doesn't get his 2-ability combo at level 1, but neither does the Jarvan. No way to close distance without that E. All he can do is stab forward with the spear. Captain Nuke will find a little bit of damage, but the E is what's taking it level 1 instead. That was my mistake. It's been so long since I've seen Jarvan, I forgot what ability he levels up at level 1.
Yeah, the flag giving you the attack speed bonus as well to try to take that down, but Captain Nuke has the range edge. Julian's coming over though. So is Descarton. This is, so much is actually going to come down to who gets this smite. Getting the level 2 can be enormous. That can give you the flag and drag or the potential for your actual stun here. So this smite battle can decide a lot of the game, and it's actually Descarton went back and got XP, and he's level 2 now, and he could be looking for a kill.
Got the trouble bubble to cleanse. It's gonna keep Julian alive. The paddle star comes through, and Julian will likely burn to death the first blood. for Desperton.
And they're going to lose the buff as well. I think they can't hold on to this. Desperton is now coming over. Such a smart move. He saw he was 1 minute away. He ran back to mid lane in range of experience, gets level 2, and what a disaster start for Colombia. Everything goes the way of UCI.
This dude's playing 5D chess and everybody else is in the middle of a game of Connect 4, Azale. This guy knows what's going on right now. That's a massive advantage for him, for his team. And this is where UCI wants to be coming into game 3. Finish this one out clean, trying to just get that 3-0 and win these finals in style.
And what a tilter, honestly, for Columbia College. Not only does that room Bucksack's early game, it's 3:15, he's starting his first buff. He's starting his first camp. He has no leash as a Jarvan. One of Jarvan's strongest points is his early level 2, level 3. Like, this is when you're supposed to be out on the map, wreaking havoc. You're supposed to be level 3 by now. Instead, 3:30, 1 camp down. You are so far behind. The Sejuani is happy to play this slow style. And when you look at mid lane as well, Julian down both summoners. Gets first blooded as well by Descarton. So everything really kind of falling behind. Now he's getting pushed out of his river.
Julian taken down the roam from Bloodwater, enough to facilitate a second kill for UCI against the Columbia mid laner.
Yeah, UCI just playing too well, too clean here. They push out bot, Bloodwater roams over to mid. They get a second kill there, and you could see the frustration on Julian's face. Finally, is not triple banned, finally gets on that Orianna, and it's 4 minutes in, he's 0-2.
Let's take a look at how this second one came about with Bloodwater's rotation to the mid lane.
Yep, no summoners available. It's all on you to try to juke that. If you get hit, it is lights out. The binding guarantees the bubble trouble. The ignite is there from Bloodwater, and he's gonna get burned down.
800 gold lead, 4 minutes into the game for the side of UCI. It's mostly being put there in that mid lane situation. Let's see if Stumpy can
Youngbin is
stay out of trouble
him
here.
Too. They could try to go for this. Stumpy goes forward. Youngbin will too.
Youngbin accidentally steps out of the bush for just a moment there, reveals where he's at, and that means Stumpy's gonna make sure he stays safe here as well. Julian just trying to farm up whatever he can here in the mid lane. Sleepy Trouble bubble comes out. Drowsy procs, there's your sleep, and an auto attack to hit him, and just make sure that you proc that bonus.
Yeah, Youngbin around as well. Everyone's converging. There's 3 members mid coming from both teams.
The amount of early fighting, the amount of skirmishes this game 3 has been pretty incredible so far, but with only Youngbin and a half HP Desperton here in mid lane, they won't be able to defend their wards or really do anything too aggressive.
One thing I will say that's definitely going well for Columbia College is the fact that Stumpy has actually not been getting bullied whatsoever in this lane. He's the one pushing in. He's actually up farm on the Jace, which is not what you expect. So, that being said, they are still behind, but if Julian can stabilize, if Stumpy can continue to establish an advantage, that is a way in, as the bottom lane is relatively even, and it is still just a bit over 1,000 gold. So if it does not continue to open up, if it does not continue to snowball, Columbia College will not be too far behind.
And as you can see, Latman level 5, halfway towards level 6. Once these bottom lanes get those ultimates online, there's a lot of playmaking potential on either side, and with Infernal Drake being the first neutral objective there in that south part of the river, I'm expecting to see some action down here once those abilities are available.
Definitely the case. It's going to be tough for Evan RL to actually, hit an ult, though. There's Sivir, Spell Shield, plus the Morgana Black Shield. Makes it very, very hard to actually, get one through onto this team. And, really, UCI, to me, is drafting this. Oh, Captain Nuke.
Stumpy may have been winning up until this point, but you've always got to respect the Jace 1v1 potential. Nearly gets the kill on him there, forces out the flash, and Stumpy has to go back.
Yeah, and he has no TP, so there goes all the CS advantage that he actually built up. He's going to lose 2 full waves off that, and that is really, really costly. When the wave is pushing back towards you, you have to play defensive, right? It's these little mistakes that Stumpy has made that have kind of thrown away advantages. It was great for him to be pushing up and playing aggressive when he has the minion advantage, because if the Jace trades, all your minions will help you out, you will get the edge. Once you get it to your opponent's turret, you can actually sit back and play defensively and just pick up that farm. Instead here, he plays a bit more aggressively, Flash is forced, loses 2 waves. Now the wave is pushing against him again, and he's once again put into that dangerous spot. So these little choices can have huge repercussions.
Little things have big consequences in League of Legends. You've always got to be mindful of what's going on around you. Bottom side, you've got Bloodwater and Latman continuing to maintain control, pushing power right now. up very slightly in terms of farm, but considering Evan RL will likely make that back up right here, it's still going to be a deadlock down there. Desperton continuing to just build up small advantages here in the mid lane in terms of his own CS lead over his opponent. While in the jungle, Youngbin's having a great time just farming up on this Sejuani. Like you said, Jarvan couldn't get any cheesy early ganks off after grabbing his red buff or anything like that because he was so far behind, so Sejuani's happy to just scale up.
Yeah, exactly, and Sejuani wants this kind of game. I mean, if you could tell Sejuani you'll be level 6, if Jarvan will be level 6, nothing has happened, you are smiling. Like, that is a fantastic early game. Oh, all in coming from Descarton for Ashe.
Drowsy coming in, but Julian has the cleanse ready to go. Doesn't want to eat the paddle star on that one, but the push continues, and Descarton just owns this lane.
Yep, definitely does. And you know, that level 1 really came off the ranged advantage of Jace, because he kind of just walking in, playing like a pseudo AD carry, just hitting pot shots on those double melee, made it so hard for them to fight back. And that puts so many problems on the table here for Columbia College, because they lose the blue buff, they lose the kill in First Blood, they give up so much, all from that really smart invade. And this is just something that UCI has done so well through the whole tournament. They always recognize where they have advantages, they play heavily to those advantages, and they just carve out these leads slowly but surely. It's not always the most flashy, but it is very effective.
Top side, Captain Nuke putting a lot of damage down into Stumpy. Accelerated Shock Blast, not hitting the mark. Would have taken Stumpy down to the point where he had to recall again if it did. TP now available for everybody's favorite pirate, but that's still not going to help him soak up all the damage coming out from this Jace, who now has the serrated Dirk, which means that extra armor penetration kicks in, makes it even harder for Stumpy to lane against this.
Yeah, we'll see where Stumpy will go with itemization. Sometimes you do see GPs go very defensive in these sorts of lanes where they'll rush early tabbies, even pick up something, you know, run towards like a Sterix instead of going straight Triforce, because you can be so vulnerable. But, you know, that does slow down your scaling, that does make you vulnerable in other ways, and it's always interesting to me to watch how people play these lanes, because, you know, it's always the debate, as GP in this lane, should you be actually queuing for farm and trying to stabilize, or should you be queuing for harass and trying to use only your melee to get that? Both members top, but Youngbin is 6 and Buckzak didn't see him.
Not a fight that you want to be taking in that case. They throw out the ultimate. Sejuani finds their way onto the gangplank. The ultimate coming through, still looking to find the kill. Captain Nuke walks away with 1. Can he get 2, or will he fall to Buckzak? Youngbin makes it a clean 2 for 0.
So close to taking down Captain Nuke, but critically, Buckzak was not level 6, and not sure if he used his challenging smite there, or if he even had it. Maybe just purchased up on the way back, but still, very, very close fight. They can't quite take down Captain Nuke. It's a 2 for 0 for UCI, and as it has been in the first 2 games, they're carving up advantages on this top side again. Now TPing to the blue buff, making sure they secure that as well.
Another blue buff stolen away from the side of Columbia College by UCI, as mid lane Julian this time has the side steps when he needs them, getting himself away from that binding from the Morgana. But UCI's already up over, well, almost 3,000 gold. This is one of the biggest leads, one of the best early games we've seen so far.
And the Infernal, right? The Infernal to boot with a Jace Sivir, the Zoe as well. Is a lot of damage being built there. Here's the play one more time. Buckzak is not level 6, and not only that, but he has to use the flag and drag to escape. So now they're committing to the fight. The ultimate from GP goes down. It does a lot, but Buckzak doesn't have anything. What can he actually do here? He didn't have any of his abilities available and no ultimate. You know, seems like there was a miscommunication. If he knew that the ultimate was going to be dropped, if he knew that he could go for that, you have to save the flag and drag, try to walk around, be able to connect with that, and maybe you can get a kill. But now the snowball is coming. They're going to try to go for a dive here, and Youngbin will tank this up.
Stumpy's in some trouble, does manage to get away from the first part of the flail, tries to flash and make the fancy outplay, but not much you can outplay there. Youngbin gets taken low, but again, low is all they'll get, and unfortunately for Columbia College, that's not enough in this situation. Top lane tier 1 now under some serious pressure.
Yeah, Stumpy getting picked on pretty hard. Youngbin and Captain Nuke honestly just playing better together than Buckzak and Stumpy have throughout this series. Their jungle top synergy is so incredibly good, and despite the fact that the very early laning phase actually went the way of Stumpy, you know, kind of an error having to blow his flash, and then Buckzak being pretty behind on experience to Youngbin off of the level 1 and the subsequent plays there. Oh, is he going to go for it?
Oh, Buck's
He's got
just
him.
experienced some gameplay. Descraton, 100-0, bubble over the wall, and he is gone.
Yeah, Bucksack not going to be happy about that one. Just gets absolutely shredded by Zoe. Descraton has been so good on this pick, finding so many plays for his team on the Zoe.
He's not done yet. Fires off the trouble bubble, tries to read Julian there. Can't quite get what he's looking for, but he'll go back home. Plenty of money in his pocket. Shop up, get that Luden's Echo going for even more poke.
Yeah, full Ludens is going to be pretty rough to deal with. I mean, at that point, it's not even poke. It's just your whole health
You just
bar.
die.
Yeah.
The same thing that's just happened to Bucksack is everybody now.
Yeah, I mean, that was their tank, right?
Yeah, that's the tankiest guy. He just died.
Yeah, it's still
so it's a little bit of a worrying trend so far for Columbia College. How many kills have gone the way of UCI in a way that looks almost effortless for this team as they're just stringing together play after play after play. And Descraton getting both his blue buffs and the enemy blue buffs means the spam never ends.
Yeah, exactly. They really are controlling both sides of the jungle. They have the lane advantage. They know where they are most vulnerable. They have been playing throughout the series. Bot lane plays safe. They're going for Julian now.
Oh, the shock blast hits Julian and makes him lose about half his HP. The Paddle Star won't find its way there.
They'll
in
just
time.
push in.
But yeah, they're not even concerned about it. They're saying, okay, there's not really a way for you to defend this too well.
Oh, the Drowsy.
Comes out, Paddle Star blocked up by Bucksack, who tries to go in and defend this one. Descraton has to get away from the wrath of the turret. Bucksack taken low, but it's Captain Nuke who goes down.
And Ding comes up huge. They're flashing in and devouring away his teammate to keep him alive. But still, the push continues for UCI. They have a lot of health on these members. And even the Redemption picked up.
Redemption coming in from Zoe at just the right time to make sure those health bars are not in any real danger just yet. They'll keep that push alive.
They just force out so much pressure. I mean, look at this. Now, oh my god. Evan RL went back to base, was forced to TP mid to defend that. Meanwhile, Latman is pushing bottom. He's going to take that. Now Evan RL gets chunked out. He has to go back to base again. UCI just have full control on the map, and Columbia College, it feels like, is always one step behind. They're trying to play catch-up. They're trying to get their pieces in place, but UCI is always one move ahead, and that means that they have the advantage on every single one of these plays. That's another turret going the way of UCI. They will knock down bots. Solo gold goes to Latman on the Sivir, and the scaling is well underway.
A 2-turret, 1 Drake, 5-kill lead translates to a little over 5,000 gold at 15 minutes into this game. UCI is quickly running away with things. And I don't even know what you do as Columbia College at this point to try to come back against this. The Jace with the Ghost Blade, the Zoe with the Luden's Echo, Sivir with Essence Reaver already completed. Means these guys are hitting item spikes while you're still fumbling around with pieces.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's hard, right? It's anytime you give up this much early on, the win conditions are always going to sound unlikely because they are, right?
Yep.
You know, it's one of those situations, okay, well, how do they win? A, they get a lot of picks, so UCI has to miss position, get caught out, these sorts of things. Or B, you make the game go late, right? You wait for GP to get in, and they're going for a pick here on Captain Nuke.
Captain Nuke in the middle of a 1 versus 4, tries to get a little bit of something back, but only does a minor amount of damage to Evan's health bar. But once again, UCI finding wins from losses. They'll trade their top laner away for the Cloud Drake.
And getting damage on the bottom turret, right? That is another concern there. They're always pushing up. They're always having pressure in lane, so they don't get that turret, but they do get a little bit of chip on it. Now, Stumpy getting poked at as well because the pressure is mid. They're going towards the Rift Herald, but Dean is trying to get a fight.
He wants to make something happen here, but with the Paddle Star coming in, all you're going to get to ticket back to the spawn platform, man. Descraton cannot be underestimated in these kinds of situations. Sivir to use by Latman, just in case that fight was going to go any further. It is not. And Columbia College will resume their stance on the back foot that they've been in all game long.
I mean, Evan RL is doing well again. All 3 games, honestly, he has been doing well, right? Caitlyn game 1, he was strong, but they couldn't find the fights. Game 2, he got very fed on the AP Varus. Game 3, you know, it is an Essence Reaver Sivir, but it's a Rage Blade Varus, who is stronger at this point in the game. The question is, can they find their fights? And oh, the flash just barely keeps him alive.
Wow, that was close. Bucksack nearly taken down again because of the sleepy trouble bubbles. Azael, it is so hard to play into a Zoe that is this far ahead.
Yep.
You can't go anywhere near a wall, ever.
I mean, there's just pressure nonstop. It feels like UCI is playing whack-a-mole, basically. and
Where are you gonna pop up?
Columbia College is the mole. Like, they're dodging, they're trying to stay alive, they're trying to dodge the shock blast, they're trying to dodge the sleepy bubble trouble and the bindings and everything. And they're barely hanging on, they're barely staying alive. They need to stabilize, though, and UCI is just never giving them a chance because it's a full court press.
Flash away from Desperton, avoids the shockwave combo that would have surely resulted if that Jarvan was able to dunk him after the wave hit, but when it misses, there's no danger that he's really in. Summoner spell down for the mid laner of UCI, but the team is still so far ahead, it'll be difficult for Columbia College to find an opportunity to punish that anytime soon. You can see the Luden's Echo at least done for Julian in the mid lane now. 0-2 still on this Orianna from that very unfortunate start that befell Columbia College this game. What, 3 minutes into the game that things are so tragic already?
Yep, it was a pretty rough early start. You know, and really that was due to very smart play from UCI. Not only the fact that the invade was very intelligent, but Desperton realizing how close he was to level 2 and being able to get that got him first blood, and that's what really got them the huge advantages. So a lot of credit to him and his intelligent play. He has a Sheen now picked up. They're just going to continue sieging, continue poking it out. Now, Bloodwater, Youngbin trying to deny vision, because if you can't see where that poke is coming from, it's so hard to dodge. And I mean, you know, Stumpy is built so much offensively, working towards that Sterix, you know, at least going to pick up a Jorams and sitting on the Tabbies, but he got the Tabbies at a time where Captain Nuke already had 28 lethality because he had a completed Ghost Blade and another Dirk, so it doesn't really do much. It helps to mitigate, but it does not really prevent. And it's just got to be this style from Columbia College, where they have to wave clear, you try to stabilize, you try to maintain as much vision as you can, so Bucksack can hopefully still farm and wait for Stumpy to scale. But as has been the case in a lot of these games, UCI gets a lead, they get vision control, that results in XP advantages all over, and you can already see Youngbin up 2 levels over Bucksack. Bucksack's jungle just gets taken away. Every time it spawns, UCI moves in, puts down vision, takes him out.
I mean, look at the farm comparison between the two. Youngbin almost has as much CS as the enemy top laner, which is a gangplank. We're not talking about a Maokai or something that's like, I don't need farm, I'll just throw CC. This is a huge discrepancy between these two that has actually led to an over 2,000 gold difference just between those two junglers. And this is Sejuani we're talking about as well. This is a brick wall of a champion that will be very hard to get through, even for the high damage composition from Columbia College.
Exactly, and it's just like, what use is Bucksack really going to be? He's going to be an ultimate, essentially, right? You flag and drag, you ultimate in, and then you probably die, and that's about what you're going to add in most of the team fights, because he is so squishy, and it's not like he's building damage, so he's not going to add a tremendous amount of damage. They are going to drop this Rift bot and potentially try to push up and make a play around that, but you can see Desperton and Youngbin are already on the way, and they have got to be careful about this, because it's not a fight they can take.
Sleepy Trouble Bubble lands down onto the Gangplank. Paddlestar doesn't find the mark. Captain Duke still wants to go find a little bit more here. Bucksack deleted as Stumpy now stands alone versus the remaining 3. He'll go down here as well. Shelly takes the turret, so they got something, but Columbia College still drops 2.
Yeah, they lose 2, they get a turret, so, you know, at least they got something from it, as you say, but, you know, because UCI has pressure on the map, it's actually, you know, normally, if this was the role for first, UCI, we talk so much about how when someone is dying, they're getting something elsewhere, but because UCI has so much pressure, they have all the vision. Columbia College has 3 members still sitting under their own turret while their members are dying bot. They can't get out on the map, they can't threaten these turrets. Because if you face check that Zoe, if you face check the Morgana and get caught out, you're just going to go down.
There's no way away from it. Either a bubble or a binding hits you, the other one follows it up, and you're out. Very little that can be done about that, but speaking of things that could go very poorly for Columbia College, I'd say UCI getting a Baron at 20 minutes is around the top of the list. They will bait their opponents in. The Sivir ulti comes down. Sejuani going to be following that one up. Dean utilizing the Devour to keep his teammates safe. Bucksack kept alive with under half HP, but it's actually a lot of damage into the UCI health bars so far as well. Bloodwater at half. Youngbin even lower. Wants to get some of that regen from the Warmogs, but I don't believe he has enough max HP for it to kick in. Dean barely keeping himself alive to walk away.
Yeah, Stumpy kind of coming up and trying to block some of that, but I mean, even without the damage jam from the E, you take half your health from one of those Zoe Qs, so they are chunked completely out, and Youngbin has Warmog, so even though they aren't going back onto the Baron, that's something you have to worry about once he actually hits the HP threshold, which
he's 200
probably will pretty soon. very, very close now. You know, it's 30 HP off. So next level, he's going to have that HP threshold, and he can run in, tank up that damage, and they can keep going back to Baron over and over and over. But for now, the Infernal is the target for UCI. They've already grabbed 2 straight Dragons, and that second Infernal is just establishing their lead even more.
2 Infernals plus a 7,000 gold lead equates to a very, very steep mountain to climb if you're Columbia College to try to get back into this game. Still only 1 major item completed on both your solo laners. MNRL up to 2 now with the Nashor's Tooth being done along with that Rage Blade. But when you look at what they're up against, when you look at Night's Edge and Ghost Blade on the Jace, when you look at the Warmog, Cinderhulk, and even more health coming in now on Sejuani, and Lich Bane being done on Zoe, it's just not comparable.
Yeah, it really isn't. And again, MNRL has been strong all 3 games, but he's rarely gotten the opportunity to actually, you know, use that strength on an even terms. Because UCI is usually in control, they're usually controlling the vision, pushing up the pace, and you know, if they recognize that MNRL is in a position where he can win a fight, they just ignore him, they just avoid him, they try to get picks, they try to poke you out. And they are playing so intelligently around that. I mean, I think that their bottom lane play has been very stalwart from community college here, from Columbia College, but Latman and Bloodwater have played a very passive style and just kind of avoided conflict and not allowed them to really do anything.
Now, with so much attention around this Baron pit, I can only wonder how UCI is going to go about doing this. Do you just go for the Baron? Do you just bait them into it? They're so far ahead, almost any option could work just depending on the situation. And Columbia College, I said at the start of this game, there's no more room for errors. There's no more second chances. And we're now at the point in the game where a single error could be the end.
Yeah, I think for UC Irvine, I think it's about getting a pick and then forcing Baron. If you can get 1 pick, then go Baron, you always have the opportunity to kind of turn for the fight. If you try to just straight up rush the Baron, you open up a chance that Buckzak maybe steals the Baron, a fight gets turned around, and then all of a sudden your lead is dwindling a lot. And then Captain Nuke could become less relevant and these sorts of things. Because Stumpy is farming, but they're onto the Baron, and I mean, it may not even get checked, right? Like, that is the reality of it. They're dropping the GP ult on it, but what else can they do? Stumpy doesn't even have TP, so they do get them back off. But he's got to roam down now.
GPL is a pretty important cooldown for Columbia College if they want to be looking at any fights. So having that down for the next 2 minutes is pretty important for UCI.
Definitely the case. And I mean, look at Julian, right? He's half health right now. If you get caught by a shock blast, you get caught by, you know, any sort of battle star, you're going to be sent right back to base. But part of keeping that Baron out of UCI's hands for Columbia is about pushing up and always having mid lane control, right? Because mid lane kind of gives you access. If you push up mid lane, your opponents have to respond. That gives you access to the river. That allows you to deny some vision and clear some of this out, which is what they are now being allowed to do. They're just trying to buy time. Just delay, 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 give up the minimum, and you're kind of just hoping for late game.
Speaking of that late game, I like MNRL's itemization decision right now. We'll talk about that in a bit. Stumpy's caught out, has to flash over the wall. Youngbin wants to go even further. Land the stun down onto him, follow it up with the ultimate. Redemption coming in. Youngbin grabs the kill, but the Redemption's not down in time to keep him safe. It's 1 for 1. Boomerang Blade won't find the kill into Buckzak, but it comes oh so close.
Yeah, very close to getting that second kill onto Buckzak. Critical for Columbia here that they're able to keep their jungler alive and making an even trade. Something they will take. You know, it's not the best of trades, but it's definitely something they're going to have to take here. And sending Julian now down to the bot to try to collect this wave with Nuke pushing in. But oh my God, there used to be an AD carry there, Flowers.
Control Alt Zoe. He's out of there, man. Nothing you can do about that kind of damage. As soon as it hits, it's already lights out, and the push continues in the mid lane. That's MNRL. That's the dude who makes things happen with the damage in these fights, and he's not going to be a factor for 20 more seconds.
Turret gone bottom now. You know, Julian had to run mid, try to defend there, but bot is still being pushed in by Captain Nuke. Now the jungle is being pillaged as well. This is how they extend the gold leads time and time again. Dean away from MNRL for 1 second, and it means he's going to die. It's just so tough.
And I was talking about, before the fight onto Stumpy broke out, I was going to say, I really like that MNRL is just going for straight damage. No QSS this time. He's trusting Dean, and that one moment of vulnerability was enough.
Oh my God. I mean, really, that's so hard to react to. It's not even like he got slept. He just got straight up one shot. So
he got paddled.
Not much for Dean to be able to do there, but they are just committing to the Baron. GP ult does a lot of damage. You have to give that some respect. We'll see if Columbia can get in. Stumpy is TPing to mid.
Baron down to 3K. Youngbin still in the pit. Youngbin very low, had to smite for health, but it's still gonna be secured by Captain Nuke. The Baron goes over to UCI, but the Shockwave finds so many. Julian taken low, but it's UCI that's taken down. Captain Nuke has to run. Youngbin as well, regenerating now with the Warmogs. It's Baron plus a kill, traded away for 3 members of the side of UCI.
Still going to be worth it, I think, for UCI. We'll see if Columbia can actually take down a turret or get anything off of that, but that was risky for UCI. Ooh. Had that Baron gone over to Bucksack, that would have been a catastrophe for them. So
let's not forget it was Jace who got it, too.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even a clean smite there, but they do come away with it. They don't lose a turret, so now they're going to be on the push. And Jace kept the Baron buff, which is so critical. Because Sejuani can just group with the 4-man squad. Baron buff up one wave. Nuke pushes in another lane. He's already stronger than everyone else 1v1 and now has that Baron buff. But here it is one more time. The GP ult softening a lot of them up. So Columbia looking for it, and Stumpy TPing in, everyone collapsing. UCI clearly making the call to actually finish the Baron, but Descraton is split. There's a little bit of kind of debate on whether they should go for that or not, and Bucksack just barely not getting it in time. Julian with a massive shockwave and barely staying alive to finally turn that.
The Baron had about 750 HP left when Bucksack smited it, and his smite did around 620, I believe,
so
at the
close.
time. It was 100 off, but 100 is honestly the difference between winning and losing the Baron, potentially winning and losing the game.
And the funny thing is, when you look at that and you realize Youngbin is 3 levels up, that's 150 more damage on his smite, right?
Yep.
If you're not that far behind in experience, well, you just smite stole that Baron, right? Like, these are the little things that make massive differences up throughout the game. And UCI pushing up here, looking to try to deal a death blow.
Oh, double man paddle star hits both the jungler and the support, and because of that, Bucksack is already taken down. UCI using the power of this Zoe time and time again. 6-1 and 3 on this mid laner that had such a fantastic start, kept it going, translated it into a wonderful mid game. Now looking to close the game here with it now. 30 minutes in, pushing multiple lanes at once. Still got Baron buff ready to go. Julian's taken nearly down. Does manage to walk away. Captain Nuke thinking about the long-range snipe, excuse me, but not even needed. The inhibitor's the name of the game, and they get what they came.
Yeah, just chunking out that Orianna, that's the only wave clear, and there's no way that they can actually defend that when you expended GP ult, you know, as well as the Orianna shockwave, the Varus ult was down, and your jungler is out. So now at this point, they're very ultimate dependent. They're waiting on those cooldowns to come back up, hoping and praying that they can survive, but Descraton poking from the side, looking to get those advantages.
Battlestar luckily not finding its way onto any big chunks this time, but they've still got that Baroned up cannon minion. No banner on him this time, so he's not single-handedly tearing apart bases, but they've still got Baron to persist for another 20 seconds or so. They want to try to utilize this wave as effectively as possible. Battlestar again, not going to be finding its mark. Captain Nuke caught out a little bit there. Black Shield keeping him safe from the shockwave, and Bucksack's got no way out of his own cataclysm. Stumpy taken very low. Has to eat the orange and get the hell out of dodge as the push continues. It looked like it may have been a pick for once, but the save from Bloodwater keeps that top laner alive.
Yeah, the Black Shield, the redemption coming through, cooldowns blown there. They didn't have the follow-up, and the wave pushing on the top side knocks down a turret. 2 inhibitors already knocked down by UCI. They are closing in on this one. One more reset, but they are so close to crushing through this series, completing the sweep, and claiming the college championship.
And this is what I like about this team. Even though they're on the precipice like this, they're playing it patient, they're playing it smart, and here's how they played this one.
And there's the Black Shield, perfectly timed by Bloodwater. The redemption comes through. The follow-up is not there. Evan RL gets zoned off. Stumpy's not able to really connect through with a barrel and didn't have his ultimate still from the mid lane fight. So you expend all those cooldowns to try to take down Captain Nuke. You don't get the kill, and then the fight is over.
It's a 12,000 gold deficit now that this team is having to deal with. Everybody just went back and bought. Captain Nuke has all 3 lethality items fully constructed at this point in time. Spirit Visage done for Youngbin means any of that big damage potential from Julian and Evan RL is going to have that much more magic resist to work through. And let's not forget about Rabadon's Death Cap now being on to Descraton.
Yep.
So those Paddle Stars are Let me do a little bit of a tooltip read for us here. For everybody at home who's not able to mouse over this, the maximum damage from Zoe's Paddle Star is currently 1,300 before the E multiplier. The E multiplier takes it up like 1,700.
Yep, and then you're also adding in the Lich Bane auto, the potential ignite.
And the Ludens proc.
You can actually get the Ludens proc, and then you do have procs that can also come out from your W, the actual damage that can come out from that. So it adds up to a metric ton of damage, and quietly Latman has kind of been on wave clear duty, but he has farmed his way to essentially a full build Sivir. I mean, this guy has not been who you've had to been worrying about throughout the game, but now you have a full
All
build
of a sudden
Sivir,
it's there.
And okay, great, you pick off Captain Nuke. Okay, great, you pick off Deskerton. Latman is a monster. He can 1v5 this fight if he's protected.
So many threats to deal with, so few answers to find here for Columbia College. One inhibitor left to defend. Bucksack losing about half the HP there from the quick jump in from Desperton. Likely only a matter of time here, barring some sort of miracle shockwave.
Exactly, it's about the engage for Columbia. They need to pick someone off instantly, preferably, get Latman or Desperton, kill them immediately. That is your hope. It has to be an engage from Bucksack, followed up by the shockwave, followed up by the Gangplank ultimate. Barring that, there's not much of a way to get team by win.
Julian taken very, very low on that one. Forces out the Gangplank ultimate to cover the retreat. Another big tool not available for the side of Columbia College now. The ultimate for Evan RL also still down. No chains of corruption here to use. With that top side turret below half HP, you have to think that UCI is going to press that gas pedal soon. They're going to see the green light.
Yeah, Youngbin is pushing in the mid. Deskerton is just relentless on this Zoe, non-stop pressure, poking people out and looks for the engage, can't get it.
Gets the Drowsy right as Bucksack wanted to go in. Redemption comes out, Chains of Corruption, miss. Evan RL without that ultimate cooldown here yet again. Turret nearly taken down. Youngbin just continuing to help these super minions push off to the side. Desperton looking for Paddle Stars.
Oh my God.
What a shock blast.
Stumpy trying to clear this out, but they're gonna dive.
Zoning everybody away. The inhibitor again, the target. That's double super minions in every lane for UCI. The situation gets hairier and hairier as this game continues, but it likely won't continue for much longer. UCI looking to deal the death blow here, unless Columbia College can somehow finagle a way to get these guys at the base. Desperton moving forward again, trying to find those Paddle Stars. Shock Blast hits Evan RL, takes a little bit of HP off of him there. Dean bound up, here comes your engage! And Julian's already out of the picture, this should be it! There's your stopwatch from Captain Nuke, keeping him alive, and everybody from Columbia College is routed! Ladies and gentlemen, a 3-0 overall series, and a phenomenal performance from the University of California, Irvine, who are your 2018 Collegiate Champions.
Absolutely incredible performance from UCI. Dominant to the very end, playing it so patient. No doubt they are the best collegiate team in the nation, in the continent, and they look so incredibly strong. An incredibly well-deserved victory for them here over Columbia College.
Every single one of these games, they showcased why they deserve to win here. First game, you don't get to play your condition, we get to play ours. Second game, even though we're behind, it's golden.
It's honestly fantastic stuff from them. A tip of the hat to Columbia College, making it all the way to the finals here. Putting on a good show, but not quite enough today.
See the fans come out, the trumpets are roaring as the team walks up to the trophy to hold it high. Take what they've earned, take what they deserve, and bring it home to UCI.
Are out, the trophy is raised, and the celebrations have begun.
The confetti rains from the sky, another hoist of the trophy from UCI.
Desperton, what an incredible tournament from him.
I mean, the last game What a showcase of individual skill, making sure that he translated the early lead into more picks throughout the game. You saw how aggressively he could play, how well he played. I'm looking at the damage chart right now. It's one giant bar, and everybody else is just trying to catch up. Got to spread the wealth around. Everybody gets a chance to hoist the trophy up. They were all a part of this. They worked to get here throughout the course of the regular season. Like you said, hundreds of teams in the collegiate circuit for the region. These guys were one of the 8 invited here for being the best, and now they prove that even among the elite, they are the elite.
Best team on the continent, best collegiate team there is. Really, really impressive stuff from them. Looked so dominant the whole way through. You know, there are 3 former pros on this team, you can tell, but really, the rest of the squad looked so damn good too. Very, very impressed. Deskerton and Captain Nuke, they look like they could be, you know, pro ready as well. These guys were monsters, and I think the collegiate scene is going to start to get even more attention from these academy teams, from these pro teams that are looking to pick up players, that are looking for new talent, because there have been some very, very impressive showings.
The skill level just keeps rising in this collegiate circuit. It just keeps bringing in better and better players, better and better competition. And then when you get to this point, you get to hoist the trophy and say, we earned this. We earned our spot. That's got to feel great for these guys. And in addition to the title of champion and eternal bragging rights, University of California, Irvine will also be designing championship rings alongside our partners with Jostens to commemorate their victory here today.
That is pretty sick, I've got to say. And in moments like this, players never are going to forget. This is going to stay with you forever, and having something cool to commemorate that is going to be very, very memorable.
Championship rings for collegiate esports.
That's
I love it.
hype.
That
I'm
shows
jealous.
how big this is building.
Where are championship rings
That
for
shows how
casting
big this is building, man. If you would have told me back when I was a little kid going to middle school or whatever that you could go to college and get a championship ring for competing in League of Legends, well, one, League of Legends didn't exist back then, so that would be kind of weird. But in general,
What are you talking about? That's not a game.
It's such a cool thing to see. It's such a cool thing to see the legitimization of this circuit, how it's grown over time, how it's evolved to the point where it's at, and how we've reached this level of play, this level of competition, and now for UCI, this level of celebration.
I mean, one of the things for me that I've always felt, you know, it's so amazing to see the growth in esports and the growth in the collegiate scene, because it's always been, to me, you know, the scene has made it not when the top of the top can be successful and have these incredible events. It's when, you know, the lower levels can also reach that pinnacle of success and have that support behind them. And seeing collegiate esports be this incredible is definitely a sight to behold.
It is an awesome sight indeed, but now to hear more from the champions, let's send it down to Avli and the victorious mid laner.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Deskerton. Congratulations on your victory. What was going through your head when you lifted that trophy?
I just couldn't believe it. We went 3-0 against Colombia, and yeah, it was amazing. And we just showed them how dominant we were in this tournament.
3-0, and you had 2 phenomenal games as Zoe. Was there any doubt in your guys' mind coming into this weekend or even this game that you guys were going to leave the winners?
I think coming into this game, we were all confident that we would be able to come out on top, and that's what we did.
Confident indeed. But I hear that you actually also have a 3.9 GPA at UC Irvine in computer engineering, no less. How were you able to achieve both that and the championship?
I think it all just comes down to time management and being able to be able to balance your schoolwork and as well as have the time to play League.
Now, everyone wants to know what's next for you. Are you going to continue working through the college championship and working on that GPA, or what?
I think for me, I want to finish school first and get my college degree, and then afterwards, let's see what happens.
Stay in school. Well, I just want to point out, look at all of this support from UC Irvine, and I hear that your entire family is here as well. Is there anything that you'd like to say to people supporting you?
I just like to I'd like to thank everyone who came out today. It means so much to me and the rest of our team to see UCI just come out and give us the support, and I think it definitely helped us win the game. And in particular, I also like to thank my family for taking the time to come out here for this whole weekend. My family is... Yes, they're... Yeah, so... Sorry. But yeah, like, I told them that we'd be playing this weekend, and they said they would come down, and that just means the world to me. So thank you.
Well, congratulations again on your victory. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avali. Thank you, Deskraton. That is heartwarming.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool, like, their school is close, and it's like an actual hour drive to go from Orange County to here, but family coming out as well, that was awesome. I love the cheers and everything.
Something they'll remember for a very long time,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure. One of the best moments.
That is super awesome. I mean, when I first started casting and whatnot, like my parents would drive down to like when Worlds was in LA and stuff like that, and they'd come see me do stuff. It's a really cool feeling seeing your family support you.
Yeah, mine's on the East Coast, a little bit more difficult
Yeah.
for them to come out and see me, but they still make the trip sometimes.
That's good. That's really awesome to see, of course. So a pretty convincing 3-0. Some of the games were close, but end of the day, UCI was the better team. This is basically a sizzle reel of them being just really awesome league players.
And there were a couple kind of back-breaking moments, I'd say, where it really felt like this was going to go UCI's favor. This is one of them, that 2-for-0 in the top side that almost was traded out evenly. They continued to punish Stumpy. Him and Youngbin, Captain Nuke and Youngbin have been doing this top laners all tournament long.
Yeah.
And then they made what was a pretty risky play, forcing the Baron down. They didn't have any armor on their tank yet, so he got burned pretty low by the Baron. And they almost got cleaned up, but the smite was slightly mistimed by the Jarvan as he was held behind all game long. And so he didn't have enough damage to actually contest that smite, loses that one. And once they got the Baron, UCI was pretty much able to close this game out pretty cleanly.
Yeah, this next Zoe Q, I think one-shots Orianna. Here we go. And where'd your mid laner go?
Doink.
Bane, summon Airy, good enough damage.
Yeah, I think Deskraton in particular, just saw the interview with him, really stood out. That the level 1 that happened this game where he had the presence of mind to go back, pick up level 2, and then continue to fight was the reason they were able to kill Orianna, which then allowed them to secure the blue buff and really shut down that Jarvan. You see 4K damage, almost as much as the Tom Kench. So he had a very tough game on Jarvan.
Meanwhile, 35K out of Zoe,
Yeah.
pretty decent.
It's a number.
Gotta say, it is a number. That is an accurate statement. Thank you very
It's
much.
larger
for
than
that.
some other numbers on your screen.
That is
It's
also
actually the
true.
largest of some subset of numbers on your screen.
Yes, thank you. Not as large as the amount of gold the team earned. So there are some large numbers on the screen, the 70.1K, but that is about it. Yeah. So either way, obviously, smashing that one, that went downhill quickly. As you can tell, we are.
You remove the
major.
guess,
Yeah.
falls apart.
Yeah. If it was just me, it'd be better, but sadly, it's okay. You're here to drag us all down. But yeah, okay, so you see the better team overall. I will probably have another interview coming up very soon. And in fact, the prompter just scrolled, so yes, we do. Let's send it down to Avli, who's standing by with some more of the championship squad. Look at that timing.
Thanks, guys. I am here with Latman, Bloodwater, and Captain Nuke holding his Pop-Tarts. It looks like you finally got them back. Guys, all of you, I'll start with you, Nuke. What was it like to finally hold up that trophy?
I think it's about time. Like, we tried so hard to get this trophy, and I definitely wouldn't have done it without the support of everyone here, especially Tower of God, Justin Choi right there.
And Latman, Bloodwater, you guys missed out on this last year, so what was the importance for you?
Well, I just felt that we owed it to our rookies on the team, Deskraton and Captain Nuke. They worked incredibly hard throughout the season, and being able to bring this win to them, it really feels a lot. It really feels heartwarming.
Heartwarming, Bloodwater.
Well, for me, I really love playing on this team. This is my favorite team by far, and I really tried to make sure that we win the championship. Yeah.
Now, tell me about this entire experience, because this season you guys put together a fantastic team, took down your rival, Simon Fraser, and you won the entire championship. So what was the entire experience like? For you, it was a little emotional yesterday, taking down Maryland. So why don't you start?
I guess for me, it was really, really hard for me because I'm the newest member here, and I'm coming onto a team with 3 ex-pros, and our top laner had to, he couldn't play anymore, so I had to sub in for him. So all the pressure was on me. So it was really, really nerve-wracking, and I felt like I had a lot to prove, and I'm glad I proved it here.
How did he do?
He did so good. Evan made that the whole tournament here in the playoffs. I expected to have to work a lot harder from bot lane, but Evan and Jeffrey stepped up in such a big way that a lot of this tournament was really uninteractive for me in bot lane. Like, our mid and top just went beast mode every game, and I couldn't be happier to be able to support them to a win.
Bloodwater, was this true? How was your experience?
I'm really satisfied with the way everyone performed. Evan never ceases to amaze. Jeffrey, he always pops off and makes amazing plays. And Ballin, it's kind of an island for us, but you know, once that island's over, the game just wins in our favor.
So I understand we have 2 sophomores and 1 senior. What's next for you guys? Are you going to continue college or try to make a break into the pro play?
I mean, for me, I'm just gonna keep doing what I do. If I get offers, then I'll consider that. But for now, I'll just keep on pursuing my computer science degree and keep on smashing collegiate teams.
I'm pretty sure I'll be continuing with school.
Yeah, I'll be staying in school for 1 more year, and then I'll be graduating.
Well, great on that. Now we see your floating faces again for the last time in this crowd. Is there anything that you guys would like to say to everyone who has came out and showed their support all weekend long?
Definitely thank you to everyone that came here. I'm really happy that we won, and this is like the biggest league moment for me, so I'm really happy.
Yeah, this is really overwhelming. The support has just been phenomenal throughout the tournament. I'm so thankful to have such an amazing esports arena staff at UCI to come out and support us. Really thankful for Mark Deppy, the director of the program. You do an amazing job, and I just couldn't be more thankful. And special shout out to Frank Fang for being a big part of my amateur career, which helped me get here.
I personally want to thank my friends and family for being so supportive of what I do, and I want to thank everyone from UCI and from the UCI Esports Arena staff for coming up here and supporting us. It's really amazing that you guys all showed up, and we're here to witness this.
Oh, and also a quick shout out to our support staff. You guys were absolutely phenomenal. Like working hour after hour in the hotel room, going over so many drafts and permutations, and just you guys are great, and your work is really, really appreciated.
Well, congratulations to all of UC Irvine for this championship. Guys, great job. Back to the desk.
Thank you very much, Avali. Yeah, so the next line I have to read is a lot of credit goes to UCI's coordination, but you heard that interview. The last half is just like, everyone on the team is so amazing. I love everyone. Our staff is great. Everyone behind the scenes. I mean, that's absolutely the case. Right?
Yeah, and I think that's really important to highlight because while some of these other teams competing at this tournament earlier in the weekend didn't have the full support of their school, and you can see how much it means to the players when they do have that full support and they have a lot of people behind them making sure that they are on track and are able to, you know, focus on the game when it's time to do that as well.
Yeah, it really seemed like all of their drafts were very good, and a lot of that, like, at a certain point, like, you're balancing an academic career with a high KDA. Like, you cannot research every VOD your opponents play. That's just not feasible anymore at a certain point. Like, so really cool to see, you know, the extra help behind the scenes. But claiming the 28 title would not have been possible without their finals MVP. We're giving those honors to Descraton, finals MVP of College LOL 2018.
And this was a super back and forth discussion between him and Captain Nuke, but ultimately goes to Descraton with that last game's performance on Zoe. He was good the rest of the series, of course, having a lot of big games on the Swain, on the Zoe, the second game, as well as the third game, finding a lot of pickoffs, and especially, like I already mentioned a little bit, that level 1, making sure that secures the jungle advantage over the Jarvan, basically protected his entire team's early game, and then while Captain Nuke did a great job snowballing with some help from Youngbin, later on in the game, it was Descraton finding a ton of pickoffs. You saw that one shot on the Orianna, had one onto the Varus as well, just made the living hell for Columbia's players.
Yeah, you see nearly 1,000 damage per minute on both those Zoe games. Absolutely huge, so really big props to him. But you heard him say he wants to finish his school first, then see what things look like. A couple of the other players maybe a bit more open to the opportunity of making the transition.
We'll see if a paycheck can change his mind, maybe, if someone reaches out, says if they want him for Academy. And I'm sure, same for Captain Nuke, I think, you know, he sounded a lot more open to that opportunity. And I think he basically did as good as you can on this stage. Young guy, lots of room to work, and was pretty clearly the best top laner in this tournament.
Yeah, and I got to say, like, most of that roster, of course, sophomores. So, and even Bloodwater said he's coming back for one more year of school as well. So that whole roster could stick together, and maybe they win back-to-back championships like UBC a couple years ago. Now, throughout the week, we saw some wild plays from all of the teams. We decided to collect some of our favorites. Up first, University of Maryland's base defense tested UCI in Game 3 of their semifinal match.
Just gonna go straight in.
Ooh, almost big Bloodwater again with the flange. Going out the side, it should be an up here. UCI look to be doing it. Descraton goes godlike. He's gonna try throwing them all. He grabs a double nuke, popping a stopwatch. as he dives down through the tower. Wizzy, though, trying to find a kill. Actually did take down the Renekton as well. Wizzy, he's going to clean it back up. Going to try and get the kills forward. Root looking to land. That Q lands, and they do actually clean it up.
Wait, they're solo. Oh!
Oh, shit!
What is it?
Good to see the team having fun enjoying that one too. I had a lot of fun watching that play.
Yeah, that was the only game that UCI lost the entire sort of back half of the tournament right there. So turns out you just need Brand Draven and AD Lee Sin.
Yeah, and to play all that stuff well. I mean, the Brand did a ton of damage to set all that up, and then the clean Lee Sin mechanics to actually finish off those kills.
Absolutely. So next up, Columbia College's Stumpy turned a river fight with a 3-man knockup into a Yas ulti.
And they yo-yo the defense. Just about 1,000 health between these bottom 3 members of Columbia. And he's going to go in with the last breath. And he silences Dallas.
Look at Caitlyn and Bryce.
Bryce overall.
Nice. Look at Bryce. Look at Bryce.
I'm on Tarek. Bryce after.
We tag him. We tag him. We get him. Nice.
That was pretty nasty from Stumpy early on, and that was what kind of drew the eyeballs to him. I think that play in particular early on this tournament, and you know, for most of it until kind of running into a bit of a brick wall in these finals. But that play, you know, really highlighted how good this guy is, and he had a great tournament all around.
Yeah, I mean, being a finalist, no shame in that. Obviously, a very, very good player as well. Finally, UCI's Latman doles out the only pentakill of the tournament.
Taking down Jokin, and here comes the real damage dealer, Latman. Looking to lay in some autos, gonna get 1 kill on a backpack, gonna grab the double, the penta, starting to get lined up. There's a triple, he knows it's there. There's the quadra, gonna line it up and finish the game in style. Latman going down, and there it is, a penta kill for UCI's Caitlyn.
Good job. Varus, nice. Keep going, keep going.
Let's go!
Good job, let's go! Yeah.
I love you guys.
Thank you, team.
Nice thank you, team. Very courteous of him.
I gotta shout out Pacey Time for calling it at like kill number 2.
Yeah.
He gets a double and he's like, the pentakill is coming, and 2 from at full HP, and I'm like, Pastry freaking spot on, my dude. Like,
he knows what's going on.
Yeah, he does. He's a smart man.
And it's really cool too because we talked about how much UCI was a team effort. You know, that's day 1, your AD carry getting a pentakill, and then the finals happen 3-0, and they're basically like, oh yeah, we got carried this series.
Yeah,
like,
he's 0-0-1 at like 30 minutes. You're like, yeah, but they're up 10K.
Yeah, that's how you know it's a good team, when the guy who got a pentakill to start the tournament off is getting carried at the end.
Just trading farm, no big deal. Yeah, beautiful stuff there. So while we did crown our college champions today, the quest for the NALCS Summer title begins Thursday with day 1 of the North American Academy broadcast brought to you by the Academy orgs themselves, and the Riot broadcast picking things back up on Friday. Then the NALCS countdown starts the summer split, including Mark Z, so maybe miss that, at 1:30 p.m. on Saturday. And if you want to join us for the action, pick up your tickets to see the games live on lmlesports.com/tickets.
All right, for the people who stuck around to this point in the broadcast, you have to start watching Academy, because from everything we've heard, from talking to pros, their tweets, all this stuff, the meta might be just in complete shambles. It will be the craziest stuff you have ever seen, and your first look at it in North America will be Academy, so make sure to check that out. And then, you know, on the countdown, I'm sure we'll be losing our minds too about the state of the game.
Yep, and now before we do leave, a special thank you to everyone who joined us on the broadcast, Short Hop and Faith. And actually, Jokin was here, but because there was no game before.
You watched the whole last game with us.
He was here with us, sadly. Pretend Jokin was here and was helping out, honestly, but thank you so much to everyone else who joined. Thank you to Mark Z, and for myself and the casters and the entire live broadcast crew. Thank you, all of you, for watching. We will see you on Thursday for the start of the summer split. Good night. Or afternoon, or evening.
I'm really, really excited. This has been a tournament with so many upsets, and yes, UCI may be the favorites coming in, but very excited to see what Columbia can pull off.
Hey, NRL puts a lot of damage onto Bloodwater. He doesn't even need anybody else to help him out on that one. Does manage to grab the first blood.
Oh, the binding!
Not going to be bound up. Can't get in there in time. It's still going to be 2 for 1. With that beast up, nice shot from Youngbin to take down Julian. Bucksack likely going to be dropped next here as well. Dean taken very low. Latman does fall. Off the side, it's Julian versus Youngbin. Julian staying alive, but with NRL down, there's surely no way for Columbia College to fight this one out now.
Go, go,
nice!
Kill them all, kill them all, let's go! Nice, nice, nice! Good job!
Go!
We can win this.
Work on him.
I'm coming, I'm coming. Look at Zoe.
Zoe. I am.
Look at it, really. This is me, dude. Watch me, watch me.
Bucksack going to be taken low. There goes your pull on the catch. That's the QSS that wasn't ready. And that's 2 kills for UCI.
Swing, nice. Let's go! I've shield.
Mister, okay.
I killed Varus!
Nice!
That's it.
Still looking to find the kill. Captain Nuke walks away with one. Can he get two, or will he fall to Buckstack? Youngbin makes it a clean 2 for 0. Baron goes over to UCI, but the shockwave finds so many. Julian taken low, but it's UCI that's taken down. Inbound up, here comes your engage, and Julian's already out of the picture. This should be it. There's your stopwatch from Captain Nuke, keeping him alive, and everybody from Columbia College is routed. Ladies and gentlemen, a 3-0 overall series, and a phenomenal performance from the University of California, Irvine, who are your 2018 collegiate champions.